So last year I told you all the inspiration for Subversive Dreaming was the Maroon Communities. So I heard the story from Trisha Hershey, the Nat Ministry Bishop. She shared the story about how the slave ship landed on the shores of Virginia, and these enslaved people jumped off the ship and ran into the hills and created a whole new community. And I was so fascinated by that because can you imagine how brave you have to be to run into the hills and not know what's there? I thought there was something that could be applied from the Maroons to what some of us might be trying to create in our world today. This year, I read another story about this community called the Beguines, and I might be saying it wrong, or maybe it's Beguine, I don't know. But it started in the 1100s in France and Belgium and that part of the world. And it was back then, the only option women had was they could either get married or become a nun. So either way, the belief was that women had to be governed by men, right? Like there was no option for women to not be governed by a man. And there were these women that were like, you know what? No thanks. So they created these whole communities that, like the Maroon communities, had governance. They had ways to sustain themselves and provide for each other, to protect each other, and make a whole meaning of the world and have these cultural practices. And you might be like, oh, so what? They made these communes. It's a pretty big deal because for women, they could be burned at the stake for some of these things. And these women wrote about their philosophies and what they believed about the world and why they didn't need to be governed by a man. And so when I learned about them, I was like, wait a minute, how many more of these types of communities do we have where these people are like, yes, I know what's being offered to me in this oppressive system, but I'm choosing to do something completely different, even though it's not 100% safe, right? Like there's risk in these two stories, right? And I started doing some research, and y'all, there's so many examples. So this year's Subversive Dreams is going to be about learning about those examples. I believe our ancestors left us blueprints about what they tried to create, and maybe we can take those blueprints, add on to them, and use them to help us build something completely new today. So if you want to learn more about these stories and think about how you might apply it to your world and what you're trying to create, join us for Subversive Dreaming. You'll find the link below to register. I hope you'll join us and help us reimagine the whole entire world based on what our ancestors say. It's really cool, right? Like we have history, and now the history is going to help us go to the future. I love it. My name is Alli Myatt, and I hope you join us.